Well, blimey, it has been a while, hasn't it? I apologise for my incredibly lax timekeeping of the last week and a half, but we will be finishing Resident Evil today, finishing Resident Evil today, loading Resident Evil today, and then subsequently finishing Resident Evil today. And yes, I, honest to God, meant to finish this within a few days, and it's now been a week and a half. So, but we got to the residence. I think we just started the residence with Jill and her 4 arse bruises, one of which was Richard's fault, I think, if I recall. But the bruise that an idiot is responsible for is just as purple. Yes, this looks familiar. Oh, I can't see the inventory because of my own face. In which case, I'm going to move. Here? Now I'm down here! Haha! Where no one will see me coming. It suddenly occurs to me that having a big picture of my face in this game might obscure something. It didn't last time though, did it? So I think we're going to be fine. Now, if I recall the residence, then inventory space can become a bit of an issue. But we'll just see how we go. We're going to be extra daring and leave all the healing items behind. Because we don't give a shit. And yeah, here we go. The residence, if I recall, is probably my favourite area of Resident Evil 1. It's kind of like the train in RE0, and it's a much smaller area than the rest of the game, but it's very tightly designed. Ah, now this always caught me. I normally would push the box here to cover the plant hole, but in the remake they've cunningly added this plant hole, which will get you anyway. It's one of a good number of puzzles in this game which are as they were in the original, but they've got an extra little wrinkle in them. Come to think of it, did we ever go back to the dog corridor and trigger the dogs? I just feel like no Resident Evil playthrough would be complete without it, so if you watched the last video, which will hopefully be on YouTube by the time that this comes out, there's no dogs, then soz. And as a one-off, for those of you wondering why we did that, actually no, we'll do it on the way back, but for anybody who's not too familiar with the game and is wondering why I'm pushing and climbing on random boxes, as we run through this area, I will demonstrate for you. Yeah, the residence is very tightly designed, has lots of different cool encounters and enemies in it, and it's just kind of like this constant like influx of new and exciting things. If I take this, I'm going to get bead. But it's all very small, and you don't have to sort of spend too much time wandering around. I think if I look through the hole, I get bead, so I'm not going to look through that. Go, Joe, go!
No, that wasn't part of our deal. But it's not necessary to destroy stars.
Destroy stars? But we're stars! Oh, nice boots.
What about my family?
Ah, in headphones I can actually hear what the mysterious other person's saying. Never noticed that before, it's just been mumble, mumble, mumble. Jill's like, what? Someone who's clearly Barry talking to someone else? Mystifying.
Jill.
Barry,
that's my name, bitch.
I heard someone talking.
Oh, you heard. I think age is starting to take its toll. Talking to myself.
Hey, Julie.
Bad habit.
Thanks for hosting me.
Talking to yourself? You all right? What's gotten into you?
Welcome to the drama.
I'm getting worried, aren't I? But don't, I'm alright.
According to the game's official biography, Barry is 1 year older than me. So when he says that he's talking to himself because he's old and senile, that hits home in a way it didn't when this game was on the GameCube.
Don't worry. I'm just going to
Fuck
get some
you,
fresh
Barry.
air. If I'm lucky, I'll get to waste some monsters along the way.
Don't forget to push that box on the way out. No need to question any of that, he's talking to himself. Plant 42? Are we going to come across 42 plants? This is another brilliant little bit of flavour text. Some of them are a little on the nose. I find there's some things where you get here and it's like, well, here's a breakdown of the exact diary of this monster we've been making in the basement. Ooh, don't go there, it's got claws and everything. But then stuff here, it's like, yeah, this is the kind of thing that just makes me think, I genuinely don't want to come across whatever the hell this is talking about. Difficult to imagine its normal appearance? What plant it was. Nowhere on earth will you find anything like it. This is some really good kind of scary B-movie stuff. Through its roots, sure. That's it. The flooded area from the original is one of the areas in this game that was completely reworked, and I'd say it's much better now. Specific chemical. Will we do the V-jolt thing? It's a pain in the dick, isn't it? Okay, so this might be a bit on the nose. I mean, the bit where it sucks you dry blood is scary, but when they sort of literally start describing it image by image by image, including like what the paddle flaps do, and when it's weak, it's like, okay, this is a bit too much now. It's like, yeah, there's a terrible monster in the basement, look out. It looks exactly like this, and it does this, and it does this, and it does this, and also sometimes it does this, and that's when you can shoot. Dude, enough. It's not moody anymore, it's just an instruction manual. This is where the other voice went. Although I think I've forgotten a key or something. Now these, mercifully, once we've moved them, we don't have to move them every single time, which is an odd bit of Resident Evil not kicking you in the knackers with this kind of stuff. A lack of faff, if you will, but there will be more faff. There will be more faff. But yeah, it's just designed very well, and I think you find the key here that takes you to the other side, and you keep kind of zipping, there it is, zipping back and forth across the environment. It really makes great use of the space, and now, Jill, remember what happened last time we got near a bathtub? There are many bruises on your arse for this exact reason, Jill. Another time, perhaps, Mr. Zombie. Although we will have to clear that zombie, will be coming back this way. But yeah, speaking of documents that give away far too much, I remember, not that I would ever advocate anybody watching the Resident Evil movies, but I was watching the second one in the cinema, and that was kind of exciting because Nemesis was in it, which was a big deal because it was like a hugely iconic character from the game is making his big screen debut. Oh, for anybody who's not familiar with Resident Evil, this is why we pushed that box a minute ago, because if you walk normally... Ah! Remember those vines in the ducts we just read about? I don't need no key. I need no stinking key. That's why. That's why. Now, in the original game, there was one hole that would do that every time, so you'd push a box on it and then climb over the box. In this game, there's two holes, and if you push the box over the one from the original game, it comes out the other hole. So what you've got to do in the remake, just as a way of like screwing over people who know the original, is push the box the other way and then climb onto another box and back down the other side. It's a little bit of dirty work. He's going to get up, isn't he? Control room key. Again, I can't necessarily see all this because of my... Oh, well, that was worth risking a zombie for to see a nice bit of fixtures and fittings. Thanks, Jill. Yes, no, when I was watching Resident Evil Apocalypse, I think it's called, in the cinema, and it's like Nemesis is impendingly coming, and there's like a bunch of computer screens showing Umbrella, like, yes, here's Nemesis, he's activated. And in the bottom corner of the screen is just like Nemesis's photo, Nemesis's passport photo, just a big whacking great close-up of his face, like, ugh. It's like, well, there goes all the tension. You could have had all kinds of brilliant reveals of Nemesis, and, yeah, no, you just flash up his passport photo on screen. That's a classic example of just not doing it well. Yeah, there are other things. I do love this flavor text, I really do. They really toned this down in RE2 Remake. I think we lost a lot of stuff, and I'm probably getting ahead of myself there. The curse did it down. And what's he left behind? A little self-defense gun with one bullet in, which isn't really worth picking up, to be honest, but... Yes, that was a massive waste of this otherwise pretty good gun. It's basically a one-shot pistol that has one magnum bullet in. The implication being that the guy who left it there used the other bullet to kill himself. It can never be reloaded, so it's one shot. But it is a very powerful shot. I don't find it's ever really worth giving up an inventory space to like one bullet. Especially when not too long after this you just get the Magnum anyway. So where are we? You also have to travel really light in this version of events because aforementioned inventory problem. So this was the roll room key. I think it should be control room key. Also keep an eye out for a green herb. Yes, we can make quite good progress here because, like I say, it's a small area. And it's just this very fun avalanche of things. So we've got a plant in the basement and a flooded aqua ring. Plus all the usual zombies that one would expect. And some story beats. We've already had Barry. There will be a few more. It's like the main mansion condensed into a smaller area. It cuts out a lot of the faff and the running around. Which has its place. I mean, I do love the exploration, but I love that it goes from a big exploration kind of game to suddenly having this concentrated blast of all the good stuff and then back again. It's very good, very varied pacing. Which is why Resident... Ah, Jesus! Oh. Rape alarm! Although, speaking of which, I do actually need to kill him. Coming this way. Okay, he's got a crimson head, isn't he? But that's a problem for 10 minutes from now, Jill. This Jill? Nah. Got 4 arse bruises. 12 bullets. And a can-do attitude. There's nothing else you need in life. Now this would be one of those areas where the background hasn't upscaled too well to higher resolutions. So, for those who can hear the music as well, the music here is so atmospherically good. Unfortunately, gameplay-wise, it's one of those faff sections we talked about earlier where you have to slowly and painstakingly push the boxes. One's fine. And then 2. Not the most riveting of gameplay experiences, but there is one particular area that I missed earlier of the most egregious faff in the game, which I will highlight when we get there with a blow-by-blow account of precisely why I find it so egregious. I mean, this will be up there. This isn't even really a puzzle, it's just donkey work. I mean, could the game not have had us push one box? There's nothing to work out here, it's not like you can get it wrong. We have to like move the boxes through a maze or something, or there's like creatures attacking you. It is literally just spend a lot of time slowly pushing the box to there. And then more time pushing that box there. And there the third... No, this is... No. I will happily agree that this game is iconic and a masterpiece, and that even this remake is great, but I will call it out on its faff, and that's faff for Resident Evil. HD, remastered, remakes, etc, etc, etc. That is faff. It's weird, I'm playing these and I do love the experience, but I am kind of looking forward to playing the newer games. I've played them all, but I'm less familiar with some of them. I'm going over there. Oh, clearly nothing happening here. I've never been this way before. What's up here? Nothing. Alright. I'm sure there's equally little this way. Yes, nothing to worry about here. Plop, plop, plop. The good thing here is if you pee yourself in terror, then who's to know? I mean... I found it hard to believe Jill couldn't see these coming. Okay, this could go quite wrong quite fast. This is actually tense, I'm just waiting for that music to start. There it is. Oh my god, that's terrifying. And that's really it for the sharks, to be fair. It's a very tense moment. I've no idea how much damage that one shark did. A little. But the way that's supposed to work is with the music, the terrifying music, which is really, really scary, tense stuff, ramps up, ramps up, ramps up, ramps up, and then that guy appears, and if he gets you, he can kill you in one hit. Oh, perfect timing. But of course, if you just mainline through it, and there's really nowhere else to go and get lost, it's not too big an issue. These were the first time I played this game. I had a whole pile of these, and I couldn't figure out what the hell to do with them because you just couldn't open them and they had no use. Turns out, rather than opening it by opening the latch, you open the top bit where the latch isn't. So that's logical. Obviously, since the first ever playthrough. Okay, I'm sure there will be no need to adjust any oil pressure anytime. Pressure. Open valve 3. Good to remember. Interesting they evoke that terrible shot from Jaws 3, which is always considered the worst effects shot in history with this particular bit. Proper working order. Oh, wow. Yeah, let's drain that water. Just occurs to me that out there in the water is a whole bunch of shelves and stuff. I know the story here is that the aqua ring in the middle flooded the offices around it, but looking at it again from this angle, I'm not sure all the sharks would necessarily fit in the aqua ring before it was smashed. What's this now? Safety. So over here, release the safety, and all will be well. When I... Yeah, shut up. And all will be well when we get over here and yank a hold of that. Safety. What? But because we're... Oh, good lord, he's back. Because we're smart, we read the thing about opening valve 3. And if you're not smart, then this can get quite panic-inducing quite fast. Do I have to do this again? Yep, re-release safety.
Activate emergency drainage system immediately.
And now... Yes, you do have to slowly watch it all in real time. But in this case, it makes sense. When you come back to this game after a long time and you suddenly realise you can't remember the solution to the puzzle after it started, this is very tense. Thankfully, I just recently platinumed this game, so I can safely say that not only have I finished this game a lot, I have finished it with all the enemies invisible, only using a knife. So I consider myself Resident Evil hardcore. All those freaky speedrunners online can fuck off, because invisible enemy mode, invisible enemy mode, knife only, I'll take it. That's a fantastic looking background. Well, again, looking at it now, I could see a possible application for ray tracing. I'm not one of these people that thinks Capcom should remake this game every 5 minutes, but maybe a more intense remaster? Maybe get some of these backgrounds. Dynamite! Why were they keeping dynamite? I mean, I know it's kind of like in the original RE2 when they've got the big smelting plant at the end that you drop Mr. X into. It's just like, why would a bioengineering lab ever need a metal smelting plant? But they do, because it's, you know, action movie rules. Wow, you can tell a lot from a waterlogged smashed television, Jill. You smart. Yeah! Who's eating ass now, bitch? So you get the bite in my ass. I'm not going to count that as an ass bruise, though. No, here's Jaws. Yeah, Jill's still at 4 butt bruises. 2 per cheek. She's an even kind of girl. Nope, oh, okay. Key, perfect. I don't think any of us saw that coming. Now, apparently there is a way to get in the water and just get the key without getting bitten by the shark, but I'm going to do the classic approach. I'm going to Jaws 2 this bitch. I'm also living in mortal fear that I've forgotten to turn the microphone on again. There we are. Because multiple times on stream now, gallery key, I remember where that is. That's one dead twitchy shark. Who's eating ass now? Oh, to be fair, you never actually did, so I'll just leave you to be a dead shark. And once again, in this game's vast inability, shall we say, to understand how viruses work, I'm pretty sure getting into the water that's full of infected blood of an infected T-virus creature would give you the T-virus, but the T-virus is a dramatic and fickle beast which strikes with perfect dramatic flair whenever required. How long does it take to turn into a zombie? As long as the T-virus bloody well wants to, for the best dramatic timing is how long. Normally I'm running out of pocket space by now, but... And that was the Aqua Ring. We never come back here again, there's nothing more to see, unless we want to do the Plant 42 V-Chop thing, which I don't. There's Butte. Don't worry guys, we'll be seeing all kinds of Chris and Leon Butte in the future. Oh, now, shameless plug while I remember. You know the name YouTube channel, where you can see all these videos archived, and maybe more stuff in future. I don't know. Right now we've got the full Resident Evil 0, and hopefully, unless I've got a very angry message on my phone about video files being bad. Oh god, are you going to get back up again? Ah, you're cool, you're cool. Hopefully this will also, the part 1 of Resident Evil, this one will be on there. 0 took 4 chapters. I'm hoping to have this done in 2. This is the gallery, isn't it? I think part of what makes this satisfying in like a gameplay loop sense is that you do feel this constant feedback of you find a key, you open the door, you find another key. There's not so much wandering around lostly. Do you know what? I will have some bullets. I've got space for bullets. Oh god, I've got bees. Got bees. It's the bees. Insert Nicolas Cage joke. Oh, it's really hard to see because my ugly face is in the way, but his ugly face is even uglier and got boils and stuff all over it. It's just a really cool bit of kind of visual design. You know, in a movie it would have been like a really good prosthetic effect, like in The Thing or something, which is another thing that always evokes Resident Evil, seeing all the tentacles and teeth and things in The Thing. It's just... I bemoan that you can't make a good movie out of this franchise. After 11 attempts, I don't think it's going to really stick. And bye-bye bees. I think if we go in there, we get the final key to the residence. It's a very small area. Also, looking at it logistically, it's where there's far more toilets in this small bunkhouse than in the entire mansion. As we remarked on before, there was one toilet in the entire mansion, and it's tucked away at the side, so the workers stationed on the other side very clearly had a particular place in Umbrella's hierarchy. The residence, on the other hand, has got bunk rooms with, is it 2 bunks in? Which is far less than there are zombies, so I'm guessing that... hang on, what's that for here? I'm guessing that Umbrella scientists sort of top and tailed or something like that. There's also no female scientist. It's very much a sausage fest here at Umbrella. Umbrella's laboratory in the Arclay Mountains. So I think if we take this... Yeah, so if you got an actual bed here, as opposed to one of the places to sleep in the mansion, I think you're quite high up in Umbrella's chain of command, and you also got your own toilet rather than having up to 40 people queuing to use the one. Oh, this is where it tells you how to make the chemical. For many, many, many years, I couldn't understand the V-Jot puzzle. I literally had to print off a solution from the internet and make it to that recipe, until I realised that the numbers on each chemical name kind of add up, and it's a simple mathematical puzzle. I don't think it's especially useful or relevant. I mean, just keep shooting. If you take it, it weakens the Plant 42 for future murdering. But we're more than capable of doing our own murder here on my channel. So we'll be fine with that. I do need to go back to the box and get the red book. Shall I save? I don't think we've got a chat to ask yet, but yeah, normally I'd ask the chat if they want me to go in dangerous style and just risk going back on all our progress, and then having to speedrun all the way back here on stream this time, because last time I died at the very end of a stream and had to sort of replay it off stream for the beginning of RE0. But I'm confident. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see what I've got grenade launcher wise, load up, and then come back here and just wail away at that plant. Let's get a bit of tension up in here. Well, if I save, it's like less tense for me, but it's not as good television. So let's showbiz, baby. All right, Jill. How many more bruises on that butt? These we don't have a magnum for yet, because I forgot to pick it up on the way through. That we definitely want. Do we have any? That we definitely want. I'll also take that right now. Nope. 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 Just in case, and of course. So, in fact, just to be extra, I don't think we need a handgun. Right, yeah, we're ready. As we know from all video game logic, plants don't like fire. Actually, I've only got one. No, I've got plenty of health. Okay. In all fairness, not many things do like fire, but it's just kind of. It's that weird moment when you realise that you're playing Resident Evil by Pokemon rules. You know, that's a Bulbasaur in there, we've got a Charmander that shit. I've never been 1000% sure of this, but I think when you've got no item equipped, you move a bit faster. It feels like it. I mean, it's so incrementally different as to be almost imperceptible, but it does seem to be there. Right, P42. You and me. Oh, a puzzle. You and me. It's a nudie lady. It's actually quite a simple puzzle. I can't remember if this is in the original, but you can actually just see a bare nipple, a bare lady nipple there, because men nipples apparently are worthless and easy to show. Which Nintendo circa 2002, I'm surprised they allowed, because they weren't quite as Puritan as they used to be in the 90s, but they were still a bit in that. I wonder if it's just there because it wasn't legible in the GameCube version. Alright. Plant your feet. Minor spoilers for anybody who's watching this without knowing the game in advance, in which case, oh, no intro cutscene, it's just there. Oh, bum. What? It's not dead already, surely. Oh! Bad, that's bad. Can I shoot it from here? Is it even... Okay. So we will stop him still. The report did say... I can't see because it's on the other side of the screen. Okay. That was a bit of an anticlimax. 3 shots that took. There's like a 20-minute minigame of mixing a potion to slightly weaken it to make the fight slightly easier, which we just skipped, and 3 shots. And I missed the first, well, 4 shots and I missed the first one. Yeah, Plant 42. Now who's eating ass? And that is the final key for the main mansion, which is a classic trick that Resident Evil 2 copies wholesale, is that you have this whole area that you explore bit by bit by bit, but there's always a little bit withheld that you never get to. And then you come back later in the game and it's like, here's the final key to unlock the last areas of the beginning bit, excuse me. It's a very satisfying moment. Which means now we're going back to the original mansion to finally polish it off. It's fine, it's not scary, it's just as we left it. We know where the zombies are. I don't need the shotgun, really. And we know everything that's over there. There's nothing unknown or scary whatsoever. Woo! Or to use the new scheme, woo! Oh. Shit. Captain Wesker's there and I was doing my dance.
Jill.
Ah, Captain Wesker. So trustworthy.
That's what I was going to say.
So reliable.
I apologize. It was all I could do to protect myself against those strange creatures.
Never allow them to hurt you,
Understand.
Wesker.
Anyway, it's good that you're safe.
It is.
Barry, you sounded a little flaky.
Now that you
Oh,
mention
Barry's a
it,
traitor.
Yeah. I'll keep a close eye.
Maybe it's quite natural under these circumstances. It's not really our standard operation. Jill, our first priority is
It's
to
natural
get
to be a traitor in
I
these
agree.
circumstances. Curious you would bring that up.
There are still rooms in that mansion we can't get into because they're locked up. I've been looking for ways to...
Okay, if there's anything, I'll go back to the other mansion.
If only a man with a fucking grenade launcher could open a wooden door. God, Captain Wesker, what a sweet guy. Well, if a trustworthy guy like Wesker says that Barry's not trustworthy, I know who I don't trust. Yes, Julie, play Resident Evil. I mean, yeah, who's eating ass now, bitch? So this is where the plant used to be, but we just killed it, so now we're just... Yeah! Yeah, Julie, I'm probably spoiling the entire game for you just by showing you this, so keep watching, but don't watch the stream. Or play as Chris. Play as Chris. Chris is... Some people say Jill's easy mode. I more tend towards saying Chris is hard mode, which you consider the normal is down to debate, but... yeah, I am kind of ruining a classic horror experience for you. Why would I carry the grenades and not the gun? What am I thinking? Why? Alright, we got some Tetris to do. See, stuff like this is why Resident Evil Old School is so hard to stream, because a lot of it is just looking at really dull inventory screens and such. Anyway, yes, back to the mansion. As previously stated, nothing to be scared of there. Just zombies and the odd dog. Just in case. It's not even really a surprise. There's that bit where the snakes come out of the trees. They're all on the floor on the way back. And there's one really annoyingly placed snake that's pretty much impossible to avoid. It doesn't do much damage, but if it does get you, there's a possibility it will poison you. And if you're not carrying some kind of... If you're not walking smack bang into a wall, I'll use this afterwards anyway because I'm on caution. Then it's just really annoying because you have to drag yourself either back here or to the box. Brad, that trustworthy fellow. And Stars is full of assholes when you think about it.
Brad. Over.
Can you bring 4 ass-sized plasters? 4 plasters. Ass.
Brad?
Brad, ass.
You can't answer me. Somehow give me a sign.
Jill to Brad. Can you hear me?
Give me a sign.
Brad. Brad.
Try screaming louder, Jill.
It's broken.
Yeah, so Brad is an asshole because he left us here. Barry's an asshole because he's an obvious traitor. If it wasn't for sweet stand-up guys like Wesker, then I'm pretty sure the entire Stars would be a complete bunch of assholes. Richard, as his dying gift to the woman he sacrificed his life for a few minutes later, gave her a radio which was clearly broken. Oh shit, okay. Dogs, down boy! I never put that together before, but if the radio wasn't broken, Richard would have just used the radio to radio anyone for help. So he gave this gift to Jill, knowing it was broken. What a prick. Ah, okay. So, Richard's a prick. That's the snake coils up, and there it is. Pretty much impossible to avoid. Am I poisoned? No! I'll wait till I get over there just in case I fuck up. Richard's an asshole. Barry's an asshole. Brad's an asshole. I'm rethinking stars a lot, to be honest. Chris is, to all intents and purposes, an idiot for this particular canonical run. Rebecca, I'm guessing, just dies in this particular version of events because it's Jill, and that's another weird thing about this game, which continues to be weird, in that if you look at Resident Evil canon as a whole, the canonical events of this game can't actually be accessed in any version of Resident Evil. The canonical version being that Chris... Oh, fuck off. Chris, Jill, Rebecca and Barry survive, which isn't possible in any version of Resident Evil 1 because Barry and Rebecca are support characters of Chris and Jill, and if you're playing as the other one, they don't occur. So, yeah, that's just another weird quirk of this game, I'm caution again, brilliant. That it's all non-canon, even though the events of it started the entire story. Oh, hello. Yeah, Barry, I don't trust you, you big traitor. How did Barry fix the door? You just can't imagine some, like, walking through the mansion surrounded by zombies and dogs and possibly other things. I'm just coming across like a guy kneeling by a door with a toolkit, being like, yeah, it should be done by the end of the day. Yeah, oh, I've seen locks like this before, I have. Yeah, no, they're faulty, these locks. Yeah, terrible. It's like, okay, but no, Barry took time to stop, kneel in that corridor which has zombies in it, and just, like, fix it. Okay, there was a dog here before. Clearly it's just evaporated. And now back into the relative safety of the mansion. You know how I keep calling out iconic horror scenes from this game? No reason. Wait, we were just there? We were just there! What on earth could this be? Put on your 3D glasses now! Always terrifies me, that scene. It's a shame its head's clipping into the wall, but yes, it is the Hunter. Resident Evil royalty right there. One of the most terrifying enemies, at least in this particular game. Oh wait, yeah, this one we can't open. Because the Hunter can kill you in a single hit. Not always, but a Hunter, if it swipes at you with its claws, it can take your head off in a single blow. I think in this game it doesn't decapitate you, but it still kills you. But in the original Resident Evil, if you heard a Hunter shriek and it leapt at you, it would one-hit kill you on the spot. And that was scary. In Zero, which I know I just gave the Hunter a big introduction, but anybody who watched the Zero stream will have seen plenty of Hunters in Zero. They took the ability to one-hit kill you out, which was better from a not scaring the crap out of you perspective, but not scaring the crap out of you in a horror game isn't really the ideal decision. So they just felt a bit perfunctory there. But yes, we now have these strange creatures, which would have come from Resident Evil Zero, because there's cages and holding cells in Resident Evil Zero, but in this game there's actually nowhere, either in the mansion or anywhere beneath, where they would have kept the Hunters. So we now can infer from Zero that canonically they were released by James Marcus in the other mansion no one ever talks about, and just kind of migrated over. Also somewhat explains where they were up until now. Nothing's changed. I never thought this room was... This is the classic example of writing in the pattern that nobody would write but would talk. Not even Suspenser. Painting of a mansion... ... in the back of the art room. Brilliant, written. I'll commit that to paper. This actually is, I think, entirely useless now. It's the costume room where you can change outfits. Yeah, we're good. You know what? We'll swing by the costume room, see if we can have a look at the other outfits. It's right next door. Normally, because I always play this like with a view to canonicity, because I'm big into Resident Evil plot and all the minutiae thereof, because I'm a massive nerd, then that's a cool trick. You see the zombie, I think, ah! But then it turns out the camera was angled so it was a reflection and you're actually running into the zombie. mean, I can see it would kill an unsuspecting player. That was just for me. I could have avoided it, but I think I've earned myself a little treat. Can't remember if this area was in the original. Oh, here's a puzzle within a puzzle. How do I get these out again? Yeah. Oh wait, no, you're right. We need a jewel to put into the thing to I remember this game. I platinumed this game. I'll have you know, platinumed. I consider myself the expert even when I'm forgetting the bare fundamentals. I have very low standards of myself. Yeah, but this does sit uneasily with Resident Evil 0. Because again, the fact that there was just a whole nother mansion with a whole nother lab that's far better connected to Raccoon City right next to this one. Right, can we... Oh look, it's the zombie responsible for arse bruise number 2. I'll screw you. Oh, well this is, Okay, now I'm just wasting shots. I think that's where... Or is it? Well, this is the art room. I think this painting here is the door that should have led to the costumes. Maybe you need to get a key from another run-through, or it's in the item box or something. It can get a bit fiddly with things that you unlock between games, because sometimes you have to pick, like, second game to play the game with all those items in, and sometimes it's just there, and we don't need new costumes anyway. There's the Nemesis costume, the good Nemesis costume, not the crappy Lara Croft knockoff costume from the remake. And there's the Sarah Connor costume, I think. And this version added... Where else am I going? Oh, upstairs. Added the Revelations 1's costume. Hang on, I'm trying to rethink the best route. I want to go up, around... Yes. There's some decent costumage on display. It's a bit weird for Chris, though, because Chris has his Revelations 1 outfit, I think, or Resident Evil 5, which has, like, his super buffed up Resident Evil 5 look with a whole new face, which means that we've actually got 2 whole different face looks for Chris in one game. Zoink! But I think all Jill's models here use Julia Voth's face, which is quite nice. Julia Voth will always be the... Oh, bum. Hate it! Oh! Anyone still up? Seriously? Hell yeah. Oof. Red caution. Okay, I'm burning for the ammo like Sweetie's here. Did I get all the ammo in these runs? Could do with a top up. Yeah, don't fight a hunter with only a handgun. It won't go well. It will also not go well if I fight a hunter with 1 shotgun shell. Or 2 hunters. It can't hurt, can it? Pop them open. What do we got? Yeah, that's the stuff. It's also the only one we've got, so that's even more important stuff. Alright, so not great for ammo. We're just gonna have to we're gonna be dodgy. We're gonna channel our Spider-Man. No, that's the map. We don't need to look at the map, Jill. We're all good for map. This is a classic example of what we were discussing earlier with the dog corridor, where they took something We thought we knew and threw a different element in there to make it scary again. We thought we knew the mansion because we spent all our time here mastering the game, and then suddenly you throw the X Factor with the hunters in there, and it's like, holy crap, most of the monsters thus far have either been zombies, which are too slow to be too much danger physically unless they get close to you, dogs, which are fast but are very weak and have like clear limits to what they can and can't do, and then the hunters come in and they throw all those rules out the window. Which is classic horror writing, really. You establish something and then twist it. It's also why Nemesis, the game, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, is considered scary, because I think a lot of it is just kind of a very tired rehash of Resident Evil 2, but the element that people always cite as the good bit, and ask anyone to share a scary memory of Nemesis, the game, or something that really sort of stuck with them or scared them, it will almost certainly revolve around Nemesis himself. Why? Because Nemesis broke the rules. I still to this day remember being very scared with a friend of mine when we realised that, holy shit, Nemesis can go through doors? The rules of Resident Evil... Thank you, Julie, it was nice. The rules of Resident Evil clearly state that, no, you touch a door, you're safe. It's like tag, you know, you press the safe zone and the rules of the game state that you're safe. But then you turn around and it was in the locker room of the RPD. And we thought, okay, no, we left Nemesis in the corridor, so then we'll go into the locker room of the RPD, and that's fine. And we went to the other end, and the door was out of screen. And then we turned around, and it's like, holy shit, Nemesis is right there. It's like, what? And then we went into the police office, which is right next door, and he comes through with a bloody rocket launcher this time. And it's just like, we did not know whether we were coming or going. And I'm about to run out of pocket space, which is going to be massively inconvenient. Yeah, Umbrella, the high-tech biotech company that's incredibly secretive and has ties all over the world, is using the tactic of cutting a hole in a book and hiding a key in there. Love them. From 1967. Okay, so Umbrella had laboratories with large glass tubes even in 1967. Now, this whole subplot about the Trevors in the 60s is actually something that's one of the big things added to the remake, which adds a lot to the game. But this is... Yes, this is the man who designed the mansion and ended up being eaten alive by his own creation, not literally. This is weird. Yeah, they knew he'd die, and his name, George Trevor, was engaged in engraved in a gravestone. And it all became clear that they knew he'd die, but they knew he'd die in the walls? And in this, like, one particular wall? I mean, it's a chilling story, but then it's like... They made him a gravestone and put it inside a wall to cover a hole. It's classic Resident Evil. It's classic Resident Evil. And George Trevor's story is uniquely sad, and especially Lisa Trevor's story, which we'll come to as the game progresses. That's that image of just Spider. That's like, you just move the camera, it's not even attacking you, it's just there, but it's a... You see one of those this big in your kitchen late at night, and it's scary. This is like... This is going to kick into high gear quite fast. Can I carry these? I can't carry... Yeah, shut up. Pick them up, you... Why am I carrying the grenade still? I thought I'd... Yep, I have to waste a first aid spray. If nothing else, we're now incredibly healthy. And if this thing poisons me... Pardon me. And pardon me. These spiders are big dumb idiots. Yeah, again, if you get poisoned here, and you're in the mansion where you have to run some considerable distance to a box to get a blue herb, which you're probably not carrying... Oh. That sounded like a headshot. I feel like we've got a lot of knives now. Oh, crying out loud, go down. Oh, it's one of those zombies. Oh, come on! It was like 10 shots. This guy went down in 2. Here we are. Any children who might be watching this incredibly suitable for children stream, never operate sparking electronics while standing foot deep in water. A little tip from your Uncle Jamie. Also, never get your pistol ammunition from the bin. Wait, no, kids shouldn't have pistol ammunition. You've got to learn to use a shotgun sooner or later, boys and girls. Yeah, boy. Do you know what? No, sorry, Zombo. I'm going to have to run back to the item box because my pockets are just getting too full now. On the other hand, Jill's bum has been largely unmolested this stream, so give those 4 bruises time to heal. Okay. The reason I keep sort of aiming at random walls like this is that if there's an enemy around, she'll automatically lock onto it. So if you aim and she spins around and aims down the corridor, there's something there. Oh Christ, there's something there! I don't have the armaments to fight you, so I'm going to have to do... Ah, that's the deadly one-shot kill thing, which... Oh god, it's open! Okay. Alright, yeah, I really thought that would be a safe zone, but when they open the door and you don't get this loading screen, it means they can just follow you, so... There's hunters in here, isn't there? No, okay, phew. That went quite badly. I really hoped that first shotgun shell would knock him on his arse, revengeance, and I could just run past him while he was stunned, but... this isn't what happened. Oh wait, there's a door upstairs I can unlock with that, isn't there? This... Actually, no, that I think I'm about to imminently need. I can go there. We'll have that back. This we don't need. Or that. And... Wow, I'm running out of health items. Oh wait, no, there's... I don't need this. There's that... That thing full of herbs on the balcony that we can use, isn't there? Do we have any shotgun shells? Yes. Okay, just give our shotgun a little drinky poos. Hunters also have no Crimson Head equivalent, so that fuel canteen kerosene fiasco becomes even more pointless. But while it's empty around here, because I don't think it's going to stay that way, we can... Ah! I think I remember what happens here, but we're okay for now. On the plus side, the hunter smashing through that door downstairs does mean that's one less loading... Oh my lordy-loo! Okay. Come on, Jill, you're going to have to be faster than... Oh. And now, yeah, see, if you're going to just stun lock yourself by healing yourself... Okay, I didn't expect there to be a hunter on top of the herbs, but... Did the hunter do more damage? Nah, the hunter didn't do enough damage. Yeah, it's the thing, you can't click on something. She has to... You click on them, and then she goes into an animation of slowly bending down, and then you get the text, and then afterwards she slowly gets back up again, and... Yeah, you haven't always got time for that sort of shit. Morgan, think of the pockets! Kind of inclined to ditch the shotgun and just bring the grenade launcher for mopping up hunters. Also want to point out that there is a deer head on the wall, and most, particularly early Resident Evil games, feature a mounted deer head on the wall, which it's widely believed is a reference to the film Night of the Living Dead, which is a very clear inspiration for Resident Evil. Oh. Chief of Security, good job, Alan. X-Day. Don't think it's ever really explained what X-Day actually is. Stars, but that's us! Obtained combat data against us. Stars were part of the plan the whole time. Conspiracy. 2 embryos of each mutated species. Embryos, okay. Don't really think of them as having embryos, but they come from. Dispose of the tyrants. Well, disguise their death as an accident. I mean, fair enough. The mansion next door to it exploded yesterday. You could just say there's something going around. If anything goes wrong with your evil scheme, please call this hotline. Good luck. All the best from the lads at Umbrella. But again, there's something just so recognisably corporate about it, which actually, for me, works really well. So what we need to do here is basically this head and the deer head on the other side of the room have got jewels in or around them, which you can only see when you turn the light off, but it locks when the eagle's facing you. And get out of the way, Joe. Which means you have to kind of lure it to one side, and then yoink underneath it. Go through a very slow animation of that. I'll have that. Mine. Oh, buggerization. I've run out of space again, haven't I? This jewel goes in the tiger eye. This is the red one, which is the one I should have picked up. Oh, wait. Aha. Now we've got space. Come on, birdie. There we go. Climb, jelly bitch. Right. So, let's combine with this. This is where the game may not be riveting watching, because this is me doing a sliding tile puzzle. Probably wrong a few times. That goes down there. Know which bit's the middle. I'm mostly going from the design I can see on it. That's not right, is it? No. Oh, there, that's it. Thankfully it's not too exact. See, that's supposed to go in there, but I can't quite fit it, so I'm going to have to... There we go, shuffle you over. Here, and now this should fit. It's a bit crap because you've got to be so like painstakingly, see, it goes in there, but it doesn't fit because of the exact alignment of the shapes. Wasn't the best way of doing this particular puzzle. There we go. Okay. Instead you get a brooch, which again must be examined to... There we are. That's a big whoop. Well, thank you, Julie. Thank you. Thank you for watching that riveting sporting event of me very slowly rotating a box over and over again. And for my next miracle, I will slowly do a crossword puzzle. I think if I can stuff all these grenades in one grenade launcher, I'll take the grenade launcher and just use that on the hunters, because I get the impression it's going to be more effective than the shotgun. If it only carries 6, then I'll rethink my stratagem. Ugh. And yet again, I keep complaining about it, but faff! Yes, that's it, that's the stuff. So we'll ditch you here, and also ditch you. I should really I'll carry that. Alright, green boys. Now just to run back the way we came with no problems whatsoever. It's also when I suddenly realise how long it's been since I saved. No! Ah, now there is an honest-to-God problem with the HD version of this game. Sometimes the BAM noise that comes with the jump scare is out of sync. So there I heard a kind of noise before the hunter appeared. Oh boy. Oh wait. Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, that yellow jewel. Remember earlier we found the jewel upstairs and we put it in the tiger eye? There is actually a file about this, but now we put in the other jewel and we get something which I really should have put in the item box because this is useless until... It's going to be useless for a very long time. Yeah, I can't afford to take an inventory space with this. And yes, you do have to watch the tiger slowly rotate back into place. You can't just walk away from that. Which means I now need to run back to the item box through the hunters that just smashed through the windows. It's the wall, not a door. So go, Jill, and your massive grenade launcher. I'm down. Haha! And I complained about that pillar in the previous game. Maybe the only time in history that anyone's ever found a use for the damn thing. Actually, I don't know why I'm carrying a red herb around unblended. Oh, do I need the... I don't need... Don't need the brooch key, do I? No. Actually, no, there's a chest right next to where the brooch key door is. And I rather stupidly killed all the hunters with a shotgun I couldn't afford to waste, so... Alright, plenty of room, plenty of room, plenty of room. It's all about them pockets. So where was I going now? I was going back to the kitchen. I think that hunter's default space is upstairs, yeah. Here's another minor issue with this game. The stealth chase to the mansion by dogs because they don't understand or know how to kill them when they're lost in the woods. But at this point in the game, where are you? I'm pretty sure they could take them on if they banded together. I'm carrying all my pistol stuff. It's like, yeah, the reason that you're all trapped in this mansion with no escape is like a small handful of one of the weakest enemies in the game. At the point when hunters are appearing, is it really? Oh, come on! Good thing I've got all the zappy zaps. I think this is another one of the few areas where Jill actually has a rougher time than Chris, and that Chris's grenades are better. Jill's rape alarm thing is pretty fun, but Chris's grenades will like blow heads off. Oh Christ, that's just... Okay, that's just the camera angles being a dick. What's in here that's so important again? These are acid rounds, aren't they? We can't stack these. Yep. I mean, good to have, but... Yep. Oh, another battery. Good, we're going through these. It's very important when you're making an evil underground lab to have a special room to keep your medieval armor in. Separate from the other room full of medieval armor. Umbrella really knows how to prioritize. Right, so if I remember where we are now... Right, yes I do. Is this the place with the Crimson Head in? Like the first Crimson Head, the other armor corridor. Yes, it is. Yeah, I have a battery. I need to go around. There's our Crimson. She's round about here that the fixed camera angles really start being a dick. And they're always kind of a dick, but the next game we'll be covering, Resident Evil 2 Remake, doesn't have fixed camera angles, and I must admit I'm a little relieved to be playing it. Although I'm less looking forward to playing Code Veronica. Oh, discard the key. Fuck you, key. And now I think what I'm going to do. Oh god, we're going through those grenade shells a bit tasty like. I heard that. What? No, it's Richard and his new snakeskin coat. Alright. This is for the bruise on my arse I sustained last time we met. This is also one of those fights that's kind of a bit negligible with modern controls. That's creepy. Shades of Plant 42 there, when it's like big payoff for no little payoff for big intro. Was that 4 shells? I suppose. Yeah. Richard, are you in there? Richard, you knocked me on my arse, Richard. Thanks for the shotgun, though. Oh, and also, about that broken radio you gave me. Oh, yeah, you got enough problems. You got enough problems. And our pockets are once again full. Alright, Richard, I'm leaving now. We probably won't see each other again. Just want you to know you bruised my arse and gave me a broken radio. Fuck you. I don't think it's possible to get out the other way, so we have to go this way. Meaning... Oh, wait, no, yes, we're going back out to the courtyard, which means we're going past... Yep, sorry. Well, a lot of this stream is me being erudite and entertaining, as you come to expect of me. There's also a lot of thinking and planning out loud, because Resident Evil kind of demands that sort of thing. Meaning, when I get out of here, I'm going to want to go... someplace else. Yes, else. And I know where. This is when you do one of the more tactical elements of Resident Evil, which is keeping a mental log in your head, not just of the map, but of precisely where all the tough enemies are, and which ones you've killed, and which ones you've cleared, and which ones you haven't. Which has been there since the original 1996 version. That was very much a part of the game. And Resident Evil 2 Remake nailed perfectly. There were literally times in that game when I was just genuinely lost playing it through the first time, like 2 years ago. More than 20 years after I first started playing Resident Evil. And I was looking at it thinking, okay, I know there's lickers there, and I know there's some zombies there, and that's clear, and it just made me feel very happy inside that that we got back to classic Resident Evil, but without the crap of fixed camera angles and tank controls. And then Resident Evil 3 came out, and I wasn't happy at all. I am genuinely looking forward to getting to Resident Evil 4 on this stream, because that game kicks all the arse. And is hilarious. But that's in the future. For now, it's mere perambulation to the box. And I think when we get to the tunnels, at the risk of being a massive lemon-scented pussy, I will save. Because you can be screwed over by the controls with the boulders there. And Chris doesn't even get an option to punch them, can you believe that? For anybody who's not familiar with Resident Evil, that joke will become apparent in 4 or 5 games. Was that note there before? Have I already collected all the free stuff in here? Yes. So we don't need this, but for ease of finding we'll keep it there. We don't need those right now. Don't really need this. Don't need these. Do we? No, we can do without. We will keep those. Right. Yes. I think this is around about the point in the game I also stop picking up handgun ammo because I've usually got like triple figures worth at this point. I'm not playing to my usual incredibly efficient self here. But yeah, anybody who's like, oh, classic survival horror, it's all about, you know, having little ammo and scarce ammo resources and all that, and these new modern everything. It's like, bitch, please, these old classic ones, I've usually got like triple figure ammo to the point where I'm leaving it behind by the end of the game. No. No. I run out of ammo more frequently in Resident Evil 4 than I do in this one. Too dark to see. I can see it right there, Jill. Go on, eat your carrots. Always. A lot of rape alarms around Umbrella headquarters. There's nothing else here, is there? Oh, is it in? Sweet. So, this is another case of question the environmental storytelling. It's a unique, clearly high level office with a cup of tea, which is the sign of evil mastermind right there, which hasn't been touched. In which case, the two nearest to hand things are one of those sort of rape tasers and a drawer full of 12-gauge shotgun shells. What was it like to work here? I mean, if you think he's that high level, he is also on the same side of the mansion as the toilet, which is quite a rare and prestigious position to be in. I think I've got everything now, haven't I? I've got the thing, the stone, the metal object. All I need now is another stone ring, which is later, obviously. Got battery. Okay, I may have completely fucked up, and we may have to make a sudden huge round trip later in the game to get the one thing I forgot. But I think we're good. Do I go down there? Yeah. So here's one of the more ingenious puzzles of the game, if a bit long-winded, is that back out here in the courtyard, not wasting my my grenades on mere dogs. You might remember earlier we had to stop a waterfall, start a waterfall in order to drain the water out of this, using that crank over on the right-hand side there, so that we could cross it over. And at the time it said waterfall started from somewhere. Now we have to basically do the reverse, and that we have to cut this off in order to turn the waterfall off to get to the next area. Oh, you son of an ass. Oh, that put me on caution. I hate that one, Snook. There's a little snake coiled up in the corner there, which is impossible to avoid. And we do this by coming down here. Apparently Jill can't just run through a waterfall, but that's it there. There's a path on the other side here. Yeah, you could easily run through that, Jill. But instead, we now use the battery we found on here, meaning we can get back up to where we just were. Lucky us. I don't have that much ammo, do I? Oh, don't do it. Ow. This isn't going well. I forgot the fucking crank. I forgot the fucking crank. But, as we'll come back to here, what we need to do here is, now we've got another way of getting around there, and no blood, we will use the crank we first used to drain the water to put the water back in, therefore stopping the waterfall, which you can now get to using the lift we just activated. Unfortunately, I forgot the fucking crank. So back to the item box, tee-hee-hee. Now, yes, this is classic Resident Evil faff, but this one is on me, to be fair. Although, to be fairer, it does ask a hell of a lot of you. In fact, while we're faffing, shall I get the Magnum? I mean, I know we come back this way. No, I don't think we need the Magnum. I think we can do without it. We'll call it something to make the game a bit more spicy and interesting. So yes, this is another instance of the game perhaps not being as entertaining to watch as one might hope. But I pledged to stream the entire Resident Evil series, and stream the entire Resident Evil series I most certainly shall, oh yes. Let's also do some combining, shall we? We've actually got so many shotgun shells at this point, I think we'll just use them. Again, I mean, look at that inventory. Tell me this game is about item inventory conversation. I dare you. Conversation? Conservation. I was this close to just leaving without the thing. Okay, crank, where's the crank? Oh, that's the thing we need. Also, I think I also could do some health. Yeah, we'll make another run through the dogs. But again, when you've got that many shotgun shells, and you will keep coming across shotgun shells, it actually collecting shotgun shells kind of becomes negligible. Sorry, collecting pistol ammo becomes negligible. So you'll see me start running past pistol clips more frequently. We've sort of outgrown it at this point in the game, which we didn't in Resident Evil 0. In Resident Evil 0, we were clamouring after pistol bullets constantly because the shotgun was too big to carry very effectively. Because that game was very annoying. One thing that makes me really regret talking over these streams is that you do miss some fantastic sound design. And in order to talk so beautifully at you all, I have to wear these headphones, which gives me wonderful surround sounds. I can't remember the last time I played this game with headphones on. Hey, doggy, who's a good boy? Not you. No, no. Oh, you son of a... They can do this thing in this game where they just kind of jump in the air and just kind of like dive bomb you. Well, came prepared, bitch. You don't get this many arse bruises without learning a thing or two about how to take a hit. So now we once again watch Jill slowly cranking in real time. Obviously, it's classic Resident Evil. Don't think there's an accompanying FMV cutscene to go with this one. And sounds waterfall stopped. Look, everything's exactly as we left it. It's as if we were never here. But before we need to go over here, which we can't now, because Jill can't swim apparently. Now we can just use the lift we started, and the waterfall will be none there. And there's one dog left somewhere. Suck it. And furthermore, suck this. What? I've got the shotgun shells. I can afford to enjoy myself. A bit. Oh, nice enemy placement there, game. Mikami, you can be a villain. Oh, you're right. I'm really beginning to hate these dogs. Get off, get off, get off. Waterfall's gone. Enjoy that while I run away. And now we're on to the Caverns, which isn't my favourite area of the game. It's got some good stuff in it. It's got some faff in it. And Jamie don't like faff, as we know. I will, for emergencies, take that. But no, we want that door there. Again, very different look, very different sound profile, very different mood. Very iconic. I'm not even going to talk over that. Another one of Umbrella's high-tech security measures was apparently taken from Indiana Jones. I'm not sure how much of this is picking up on your end, but the sound effects of like water dripping in the distance and the near sound effects of your feet hitting the puddles. This is... can't see what that is because of my face. Alright, fine. I'll stack handgun ammo until I can get to the next item box, and then if I find 2, it's 60, which is a lot.
Is that you, Jill?
That's one of the asshole STARS members.
Enrico's?
Not Enrico!
You're alive!
We last saw him in Resident Evil Zero, talking to Rebecca.
Jill?
No. But why?
Ask if I'm single now. Really?
The stars are finished.
I know, they suck.
Someone is a traitor.
Oh, here comes someone to help me.
Umbrella set us up.
Enrico!
Well, I'll tell Rebecca, who spoke to you in the last game. That's the only connection we have to you right now.
Traitor?
This is one of the weirdest things in both campaigns, is that Enrico gets shot from behind, and both Chris and Jill don't look away. They just keep looking at Enrico, even though shots come from over there. The first thing you would do is go, what? Somebody with a gun right behind a highly trained Special Forces operative? But no, they're just like, wow, his heart exploded, and there was a gunshot sound from back there. What happened? But yes, when we got to the laboratory in Resident Evil 2, there was a cutscene of Enrico stepping out the lift, and I questioned how he could have gotten there. And then there was a weird voiceover from Rebecca about how she never saw him again, and this is the last time anybody will see him. So there's your continuity between games. Hello, Mr. Hunter. Also, move, please. That's another thing that could kind of do with a bit of tweaking, is that some enemies have a kind of effect when they first appear. But if you're like right in front of them, you just kind of, excuse me, pass them while they're having a little dramatic moment. Oh, that's exactly what I asked for before. So in this room alone, there's 60 handgun bullets, which is kind of fucking with you because the enemies down here are mostly hunters, and don't fight a hunter with a handgun, you mad bastard. Do it. Yeah. Okay, they lost more blood than I did. Jill's delicious, slightly bruised ass remains unmolested. For now. You can hear me now, Julie! Wow, you can enjoy my full tour guide of the Resident Evil experience. 76 handgun bullets. I mean, come on, dog. That's almost too many. I'm playing this in the hardest mode. First time I ever played this game, though, I literally had to stop and start again because I was dragging myself around the mansion with 3 handgun bullets. I just didn't get it, and I just found the game absolutely impossible. Every zombie took about 15 bullets to kill, and I had 3. I can't imagine quite why that was, looking back now. Do I have any? Right. Okay, we've got plenty of goods and we've saved, so there's some very control dependent stuff here. That is you, Julie. I've no idea how much lag we're talking here. So how this works I don't know, but it's an entire rotatable cave which is almost entirely non-electric and non-mechanical. And yes, we do have to do this multiple times, and yes, we do have to slowly watch Jill rotate the whole thing in real time every single solitary time, sometimes more than once. Oh, what's here? Nothing comes up when you click on it, because that's for Chris only. Alright. Yeah, the first time I played it I was in a similar place. It's kind of hard to remember now. Anyway, oh look, there's the bouncy boobs I talked about. This, I'm convinced, only exists in the remastered version, because I'm positive I would have noticed in the GameCube version, but Jill's boobs kind of jiggle up and down as you turn her around. Even though she would realistically be wearing some kind of tactical sports bra. Not that I'm complaining, but yeah, many times I've played the GameCube version and there's only so much standard definition can hide, so... Anyway, enough boob jiggling, time to walk away from this rock unmolested. What?! That bit always scares me, because obviously if the boulder kills you, you die instantly. And because it's a cutscene that then cuts back to gameplay, there's that one, there's a few more later, spoiler alert. I can never be 100% sure which way it's going to have me facing when it cuts back to me, so if I hold forward and run, I could be running into a wall or something. And there are times playing this game when the boulders kill me over and over and over and over and over again, just because I can't quite twig the controls. Plus, if you're not using tank controls, it's going to be even worse, because anything could happen, if you let it. Oh well, now to go into this nice safe room to recover from the boulder shenanigans, where nothing scary or appalling could happen whatsoever. Hey, why can't I control? It's a spider that, even by the standard of the spiders in this game, could be considered a big spider. And I can't see shit because of the camera angle. Wait, okay, this might go wrong. Here's a fun addition for the remake. It's little spiders, and that spider the size of a Shetland pony is what we consider a little spider. Great. Honestly thought that would have gone a lot worse. Now the reason you can't just run past is that you have to painfully cut all the webs off the door before you can use it. It is possible, especially if you bring a knife with you rather than use the one they give you there, to just run past the spider, tank a little bit of damage, cut your way out the door and just be gone. This time we didn't do that. Where am I? Also now we have to carry around a bloody combat knife that we have no use for whatsoever outside of that one specific instance. Which is annoying. This is where I do miss Resident Evil Zero's drop any item anywhere ability. I know it was a ball ache to keep track of everything and keep everything in your inventory. I really think a game like this could work with the item box and the drop anywhere feature. Well, it's one of those hexagonal things where we can turn this this cave around, but there's also a boulder on the other side. Oh, I guess nothing can happen here. I'll just rotate the old cave. I'm not sure what exists beyond there. Maybe even give it a second twist. Oh, we can do it more than once. Or a third twist. Go on then. Hey, what's with the slightly different angle? Oh wow. Now, again, I'm going to cut back to gameplay now, and I'm not 100% sure which... Ah! There we go. I always fear it's going to face me away from the boulder or something, so I sort of have to wait for the gameplay to start, wait to see which way I'm facing, then run, and if I run in the wrong direction, I run under the boulder because the controls aren't great. But no, it's actually quite easy. You pretty much just have to take a step forward. It just scares me. Resident Evil has some subjective scares. This is just a ball ache. You've got to rotate the statue using the panel on the floor to put it into the hole. I'm not even going to pretend I'm discovering any of this the first time. And you do that by pushing it, I think there. I can't see because of the various streaming accoutrements that stop me from seeing. Use this. Watch it slowly in real time. Twice. But this is the kind of crap that the Resident Evil does sometimes that I just... No. I just tune out because this is just tedious. Even when you do it the first time, it's just so slow and cumbersome, it's not much fun. You know, modern Resident Evil games, which have more in common with old school Resident Evil games, to be fair, have kind of omitted this level of faffery, and I'm fine with that. Jill, where are you? Where are you? There you are. I can see you. I can see you. Push it. There we go. Are we having fun yet? And in the hole. This kind of reminds me of one of those Looney Tunes cartoons where you've got like the statue that's part of the background and painted in, and the statue that's actually meant to move, and they just look... They're supposed to be two versions of the same thing, but they're completely different looking. Like when you see Wile E. Coyote next to a row of boulders, and one of them would look like this, and one of them would look like this, so you knew this one was going to move at some point. Cylinder shaft, yeah, we know where that goes. I'm really hoping that by the time we're done with this stream, part 1 of the stream will be on YouTube. Yeah, for anybody who's watching, well, I suppose if you're watching this on YouTube, then you already know about the YouTube channel. Subscribe for the rest of the Resident Evil series, including some of the... This, I think, is one of the best ones, actually, but the very best Resident Evil game, I'd say, is yet to come, which I'm very much looking forward to playing, even though I've played it a great many times already. Where's the door? This is just spider webs and probably smells terrible. And if you're watching on Twitch, hello Julie, I guess. I'm not actually checking my viewers, I'm not one of those people who wants to watch the numbers. I know Resident Evil's not Fortnite, and it's fine. Where am I? Jamie lost. Oh right, yeah, we're going back through the hunters, so chit. Also, I don't think we need this crank anymore. Definitely don't need this knife anymore. It suddenly occurs to me that while I've been boasting about having all the ammo and being considerably richer than you when it comes to ammo and nothing else, I may have a bit of a dearth of health items because I've been chewing away at the herbs like candy. Woohoo indeed, and oh yeah, tricked you bitch. That was the hunter's instant kill terrifying attack that can kill you in one hit, but he missed. Haha. Still chills me to the bone just to see them gearing up for it, but he missed. Get around the... Oh, there was open around lid. Okay, combinate and examinate. Now you can twist the top so they match, but you can clearly read it anyway. It says 4, 2, 3, 1. Wait. Plug it right back in. So that was 4, 2, 3, 1. Who'd have thunk? And when you're in a deep dark cave full of monsters, the only logical place to go is even deeper into the deep dark cave full of monsters. Which I would point out that at this point in the game Jill has no reason to think will lead anywhere good. But she does it anyway because Jill likes a challenge.
Jill!
Barry?
Barry!
Thank God you're safe.
You weird traitorous bastard. Our friend Wesker told me that you were a bit suspicious.
I didn't expect to find a place like this.
I bet you didn't, you traitorous bastard.
Have
I
any
trust in
idea as to what
Wesker.
might be at the bottom?
There's only one way to find out.
Don't say bottom right now, Barry. It's a bit of a sore subject. 4 bruises. That to be said, Jill's arse hasn't picked up any more bruises this stream, so the girl's balance is improving.
the hell is that sound?
No, you've got the Magnum. You should go first. I mean, yeah.
Jill, go check it out.
Oh yeah, no.
Surprises for one day.
You just keep rubbing that massively
stay
powerful
here and
super
secure
weapon I
our
haven't even
escape route in
unlocked
case
yet.
something
I'll go and
happens.
check it out. Yeah, you stay here and make sure the lift doesn't run away. How suspicious. How very suspicious and possibly traitorous. But our noble and confident leader, Captain Wesker, did say Barry was acting weird, and he has been acting weird. Yeah, I'm on Team Wesker with this one. It's Lisa Trevor again, who was last seen knocking us over the head, inexplicably not killing us. I'm not going to waste any ammo, because spoiler alert, you can't kill Lisa Trevor, she's essentially immortal. In fact, in the lore, if you look at later bits of Resident Evil, she's surprisingly retroactively important, but they found this little girl, we'll find her files later, who was weirdly resistant to all their viruses, so they just basically pumped her full of anything to see what would happen. And she's got like the T virus in there, the G virus in there, the Nemesis parasite in there. It's like, yeah, she just absorbed all of it, and she's like been here since the 60s, and they can't kill her. They literally cannot kill Lisa Trevor. She's a really cool but tragic monster design. Who's this immortal girl who just can't stop suffering, and they can't kill. And she just keeps absorbing all the stuff that they take. It does mean she's not really going to be bothered by weapons. And like the ultra-immortal tyrant from Resident Evil 0, which every Resident Evil game has to have a whole set piece around how they finally kill it this time, like it's Jason Voorhees or something, but that one tyrant, you just shoot it and it falls over and like, yeah, no, that did it. The end to Lisa's story in this game is a bit abrupt and perhaps not worth it, but then in one of the Wii shooter games they actually expanded it and made it almost work. Ah! Now there's two turnings here. I could have gone that way or this way, and I think whichever way you turn, Lisa will be there. So if you want to go one way, stick your head the other way, and then she'll be there. Then just run back the way you actually want to go, because the game will have set her there. Alright, Barry, there was a monster. You secured our escape route, right?
Barry!
Barry! You secured it too hard, you bastard! Barry, the escape route's too secure! Too secure! You, Barry, why? You've been acting so suspicious all this time, and our dear, trustworthy and loyal Captain Wesker specifically told us to watch out for you because of your weird behaviour. And now you go and pull something like this. Right after Enrico said there's a traitor in the stars. Well, I think it's quite clear what's going on here. Yes, Barry has betrayed us. Whereas characters like Richard are just assholes. Give me a broken fucking radio, Richard. And Brad's just an asshole for being Brad. Barry was our one friend who saved us maybe that one time and gave me a load of acid rounds. I'm just talking over this because it's boring. And now Barry has left us to maybe not die, but, you know, get wet a bit. And there, before you get too excited, flamethrower. Let's just get under this Terminator crusher. Again, why would this be down here? Why would you put a trash compactor in a cave? Why would somebody play a game like Resident Evil like me and then complain that things aren't realistically laid out? What kind of killjoy am I? I really do have a lot of existential moments on these streams. But we have... Oh, broken flamethrower, okay. That's not fun. Do I need any of this stuff? No, I'm actually good, but... No. Barry, why, you son of a bitch? Plus, what are you doing up there? Only Wesker is our saviour now. That's fine. Me and Wesker, together forever. He'd never let me down like this. If I go this way... Yeah, there's Lisa Trevor. Except that's the lever I need, so... It's hard to see this, but she's wearing, like, a human face on her face. Oh, she stopped for us. And it's got, like, another human face on the back where she just, like, collects them off people's torsos. She's such a great design. It's just that it can be a little hard to really appreciate a lot of it because of the fixed camera angles and I would say, commendable lack of... Okay, so we've got to run there very quickly before it resets. Hopefully Lisa's gone the other way. And put that down. If you take too long, then the hooks reset. And, yeah. It's a classic timed puzzle. And this is all new areas that weren't in the original. Which look creepy as hell. Again, this is really good environmental storytelling. Oh, I just noticed the stacked chairs on the table here. That's probably a reference to Poltergeist. All these years playing the game and I never noticed that. I mean, given how blurry they are, it's understandable. I wouldn't hold it against myself, but yeah. But yeah, like the candles are lit and there's dolls played with. It's like Lisa's still alive and intelligent. There's still a little girl in there. She sleeps in a bed like a person. She's got slippers. I mean, just this little area and just the stuff that's in the background. This, for any game design students who might be watching this stream later, this is how you do environmental storytelling, because this shit gets creepy. And that's before you come to stuff like this. Again, these are cheesy as hell, but the way it just says action disposed, there's just something so chillingly cold about that. Hang on. Lisa got type B and Jessica got type A. I don't think we've ever really discussed type A and B progenitor viruses before. Yeah, Julie, this is way past where you got to. I'm spoiling the whole game for you. George simply terminated in a wall. Oh, the diary. Other than having very good spelling and grammar for a child, this actually reads quite like a child wrote it. Same face. See, the faces are an interesting recurring theme with Lisa Trevor as a character. And that's why she rips off people's faces. It's kind of hard to think back to the fact that the original Resident Evil just didn't have Lisa Trevor or this subplot at all, because she is such an important connection to like the history of what happened here. From Inside Box and 4 Stones. Little gameplay tip there. But that's a well-written file, because there's really good flavour and story text there. Plus there's a little gameplay hint in there, so it's still relevant. Plus, it kind of lets you know what this place was like before Jill and her bruised ass turned up. Yeah, this is really good stuff that was added to this game. Not all of it ages quite as well, but that's... Yeah, I dig the Lisa Trevor angle, in case you might have heard. I'm not at all ashamed to gush over Resident Evil where need be. Plus, I think Jill's not taken any kind of bum trauma for this particular stream, which is... And this is where we were before. If only we'd known that hole led to basically the end game, we could have skipped an entire part of the game. But that's part of the fun. Realising that the solution was there the whole time. We need this, and in case we forget this time, and I don't want to forget, because I do want a Magnum, and that bastard Barry can't be trusted, the bastard. Oh, come on, where is it? Wind Crest. I know I picked it up. There it is. But this is the cabin we were in when we first encountered Lisa. This is where she knocked us out. Inexplicably didn't kill us or tear our face off. And we woke up here and she first came around here. So, yeah, we just encountered Lisa protecting her territory in what turned out to be the territory we originally found her in. But we didn't know at the time. Again, very, very well plotted. Very well plotted stuff. And I forgot to get the Wind Crest as I ran back to the mansion before. Hang on. Oh yeah. It's a stolen metal object. Where have we seen one of those before? I've gone the wrong way. Oh. Honestly, I could have sworn he had me there, but... Again, these just look so good. And again, all this you didn't get outside the mansion in the original game. This is all for the remake. See, I'm going to get to playing Resident Evil 3 again soon, and I'm going to remember a time when the remake of a game actually added something to the original experience. No, not today. This is the worst part of the entire game. So, basically, the puzzle here with these gravestones is you put the wind crest in, and you get the magnum. How do you think that happens? So, there's something written in the invitation. When the wind crest. Do you think you put it in, and then something opens up, and then the magnum comes out? No! You take the wind crest, a nice simple crest, and you put it in this gravestone. You then get three other crests. In the original game, the 3 crests were basically the death masks. You had to put them in the door to get here in the first place, but since they're now death masks, they ended up here. So you have to pick up 3 individual quests using 3 individual slots, and then you think, oh, what do I do with these 3 crests? I mean, you can probably figure it out. So wait, you're thinking, you put a key in a thing to get 3 more keys to put in another thing to get the thing you want. Oh no. You pick up the 3 crests, and they won't go in. You examine them, you turn them round, you press the back, and then the little thing comes out. Now you can put it in the thing. You have to do that in entirety for each individual one, like this. And you have to watch it spin around the right way. And you have to get the unskippable thing about saying what happens every time. Great, now we've got 3. Now, we can put them one by one into the gravestone, which is right next to the gravestone we originally put the first one in. This is ridiculous. There is nothing to be gained from this. Think of it as a puzzle. Think of it as a puzzle. Now you get the magnum. You turn up with a key, you put the key in, you get the item. There is nothing in making you pick up another 3 keys, making you examine and solve I wouldn't even say puzzle on the other 3 crests, that gets you anything, because it's not an intelligence challenge or a puzzle, because you don't have to work out what to do. You just do the same thing you've done 3 times. You don't have to figure out where the keys go, because the keyhole is literally right next to where you put the keys in. It is nothing but a faffy waste of time. I cannot conceive of what Capcom were thinking. Would it really have killed the game to just have you put the wind crest in the first one, have the magnum come out and be done? There's no action involved. It's not like the pieces are going to turn into monsters and kill you. You don't have to work out what to do with them. You don't have to run around the mansion to find clues. There's no gameplay element to it at all. And that's my rant upon the worst section of Resident Evil Remake. That's the faff. That's the worst instance of faff, I would say, across both this and Zero. So while this game is brilliantly well designed, that's the worst example of the added faff. Sometimes you have to spend more time rotating something or examining something. Yeah, remember this thing we spent ages getting when we first got to the mansion to open this door? We're taking it back. There is something very therapeutic about just finally closing that door. But now we're done with the mansion, really. And I'm done complaining about the wind crest and its stupid faffing puzzle faffing far. And now we streamed on our way back. And we're going to get to something that I think is quite cool, with our awesome and most trustworthy character in the game, who I love. We have got 2, right? Yeah. And I've got my own magnum now, so we don't need Barry anymore. Can't believe Barry betrayed us like that in such a stupid puzzle as well. Right, we're getting there. We're getting there. What time are we at? Okay, this stream might run a little longer than the last stream, because I am going to get to the end in this particular stream, and it's running a bit. wonder what's on the other side. Jill, you know what Lisa Trevor is at this point. You've got no excuse for this. Oh, you're having a connection issue. Well, thanks for coming back repeatedly. I do appreciate that. Now, I don't remember if we need this now or later, but what I'm going to do... Let's not pretend we need the handgun anymore. We're a big girl, collectively. Yeah, Julie, if you can just memorize this entire run, and then you can breeze through the game with no trouble. I really do feel like I'm depriving you of a classic horror experience by having you watch this. So, start again, play as Chris. That way there'll still be some unknowns. Have I got everything? I do feel under-equipped. Do I save? No. I'm going to be very brave and not save, and if this goes tits up, we have to go back to the fucking residence. Do you know what? I'm going to pussy out and go back and save. I just realised that if I die, and I might, we pretty much have to replay almost the entirety of this stream again, and I don't want to do that. Too confused to even notice the horror. It's interesting you say that, because some of the people say PT was really good, and some other like classic horror games that say are good, but I just find the puzzles so obnoxious that I can't be scared because I'm too busy being frustrated. So it's a shame you got that from Resident Evil, but I don't think it's your fault. I think when horror moved away from the kind of point-and-click adventure game mechanics, that got much, much better. It's why I will argue to the death anybody who says that these games are the only real survival horror. It's like, dude, no. Resident Evil 4 has me backed up against a wall, shooting in all directions, barricading the doors and trying to survive. This game has me walking into an open grave 10 minutes after arriving into a zombie-filled mansion. Which one sounds more like survival to you? Although now we seem to have come across a really good hybrid, so I think the current Resident Evils strike a very good balance between the two. Just to continue waxing lyrical at you, which is the kind of content I'm sure you will come here for. Want some more boob jiggle? Yay! Boob jiggle, boob jiggle, boob jiggle. That's how I justify my long-winded rants. Because I give you the good stuff. Jiggling boobs and bruised asses. That's what you get on my channel. Probably should have called it that. So, just to be less of a pussy now. Hey, more candles. Who do we know who likes candles? And just announced her presence with a big shrill scream. What's going on down here? Well, well, well.
Jill.
Yeah.
You're alive.
What are you hiding that magnum for, Barry? We know you've got one.
Because I thought you were...
Ah.
Start talking.
You suck to remember
Calm down. I
special
didn't want
forces,
to do it.
Barry.
Believe me, I can explain.
Don't lie to me.
Yeah, Barry. Wesker told me all about you. Oh boy. That's our girl. Who I remind you all is indestructible.
Jill, hand me my gun.
Ah, go on, Barry. You seem like a stand-up kind of guy. Promise not to shoot me. So you'll remember there was the file explaining Lisa's whole kerfuffins. Oh god, she literally isn't feeling it. Oh. She can't see her mother because of the 4 stones in the box. I'm not sure what it is about these particular innocent victims that Umbrella gave very elaborate graves to. Thanks, Barry. Oh, bum. Yeah, I kind of need to be here. Okay, over the edge. Come on. Yeah, you hang there. Oof, that was hairy. Well, she actually pushed one of the stones off herself. And then the deformed little girl finally gets her mother's skull to put back on the face she tore off her corpse and kills herself. That's some dark shit. And if you're thinking, hey, such an indestructible monster who's been here for 40 years can't possibly be killed by a little fall, you'd be right. But as far as this game's concerned, we actually never see Lisa again.
I don't believe that thing's really dead.
Good instincts, Barry, you traitorous bastard.
Leave this place up to me and go on ahead.
Okay, well, it worked out so well the last time we did that. Hey, wait a minute. Last time you left me to die and you said the exact same... Oh, I guess we're just going to trust him. I mean, it's Barry. He's got a gun. We can't... How can we not trust somebody with a gun? I'm not ever suggesting that Captain Wesker could be in any way misleading us, but, I mean, Barry did help us out well there. I'm pretty sure that thing would have beaten the crap out of me, but he was just like machine gunning Magnum rounds into her. By the way, his Magnum is more powerful than ours. If you don't give him his gun back, you get to keep it, but he dies. And it's a different... It looks exactly the same as the Magnum I've got here, but it does significantly more damage. So what the damage he just did to Lisa is about enough to kill the Tyrant from Resident Evil 0 twice. And she was still walking around just fine. Yes. In the Umbrella Chronicles, which is the Wii light gun game, which kind of fills in some gaps in the story and little arcade shootery sections, Lisa does come back, and the means that the player character of that game has to go to kill her are quite extreme, shall we say, but I gather it works. So, once again, we're going in a lift down to God knows what. As happens in this game somewhat frequently. A first-class emergency. None of your plebeian emergencies will care here. Oh, you gotta go, Julie. We will have fun, have a good after lunch break period. And we'll see you next time. Nope. But for now, I think we've treated ourselves. It's time to treat ourselves to a pistol party. Bye bye. We'll see you next time. And this is... I wouldn't say it's the most iconic of Resident Evil 1's locations, but it's clearly very important to the story. And looks very, very different. It's the Umbrella Lab, in which all the badness happened. The zombies, you also notice, are slightly different here. They've got lab coats on, because they're the actual scientists. Meaning that they're no longer, well, I suppose they never really were, sort of tragic victims of the T-virus. Oh, come on, seriously? They're stronger. But these are actually the bastards responsible for the problem in the first place. So, kill with impunity. Do I need... Yep. If nothing else, they keep a mean houseplant. Oh god, there's two of them. Again, the modern controls make this a bit more of a doddle than it might have been intended to be. Buddy, I've got ammo for days. That's the thing I forgot to take out from downstairs. Just notice the Umbrella logo on the disc says Parasol, which is another word for umbrella. I think Umbrella had nothing in there. Had a few side businesses on very transparent fake names. I actually do need the ammo disc I found earlier in the item box. There is a puzzle down here, the solution to which I can't remember off the top of my head. This one's in scrubs. See? Lovely bit of attention to detail here. I'm just making crimson heads for myself for later, but we got shotgun shells. Good to go, baby. It'll be really nice not seeing this door opening animation for a while because RE2 and 3 remakes don't have sorry, with admin. And yes. To use the electron to place the initials in alphabetical order. Oh, Gail Holland. Yes. GH, so I'm going to AB. So this is going to be CD. Oh, wait, was this thing back here? This must be someone with a CD. Clark David. Nope. CD. That must be EF and GH. Ah. My dearest Ada. And the first mention in the Resident Evil series of our beloved Ada Wong. Who it was mentioned in Resident Evil 2 was connected to this game, but then in Resident Evil 2 Remake they just cut all that out, and it was much weaker for it. So, fuck you. I guess this still happened because this game's still canon. It's a bit of a mess right now. Get positive. Well, virus test came out positive. That hits a bit close to home in 2021. Featuring on the edge, thinking my pending doom. Yes, so. Using his name and her name as the password. Oh, John and Ada. The classic John and Ada. John. So yeah, his name John is the username, Ada is the password, and the message is encoded in here. It's a bum, it's a throat, it's the liver, and it's the lungs. I don't think BTLL is what it is. Oh yeah. Colon, esophagus, liver, lungs. Cell, C-E-L-L, okay. So the password must be cell. John, Ada, cell. Remember this. I'm trusting you. What else have we got down here? Okay, I think most things are going to be locked until we do the cell thing. I can't remember if the zombies down here crimson head up faster. Oh, they love their corpses. Yeah, well, we noticed that. Okay, so humanoid creature, V-acts. As we noticed before, the crimson heads. I'm trying to feed it. How are you trying to feed it with a spoon? Yes, V-acts are what we've been calling crimson heads. Well, they've been calling crimson heads since then. It's been widely theorized, with which I would agree, that the crimson head is some kind of interim phase between zombies and lickers, as we now know that lickers are a sort of form of double infected or later infected zombies. It's a little unclear. Maybe just certain zombies will naturally mutate into lickers over time. Oh, here we are. The only keyboard in the world to be laid out in alphabetical order. John, Ada. Colon, esophagus, liver, lungs. So that's the visual data room. And the other one... That's... Oh yeah, that room that we just tried opening. So, now we're good to go for the lab. Again, if you are lucky enough to be able to listen to some of the sound design here, and aren't distracted by the fact that Jill has no reflection, and there's clearly a vampire in this shiny wall here. Again, maybe remaking this in 3D with some ray tracing, Capcom? I would buy yet another version of Resident Evil 1 if you did. What are we doing for space? We've got loads of space, we're good. Yeah, I wonder if you could upscale this entire thing, including the backgrounds, to 4K, this would look gorgeous. As it is, they're roughly upscaled to 1080p in a way which doesn't always work. I'm sure on the PC that you can upscale the assets, but the pre-rendered backgrounds, of course, they're pre-rendered backgrounds, so there's only so much you can do with them. I'm going to say no for now. Sanitation. There's always a message from the sewage, from the poo department in these games. The one game not to have a sewer in it also has a message from the poo department. We're concerned that some of the researchers we've been killing might have died. High probability. Yes, however unfortunate, our total and catastrophic failure underscores how successful we are. Umbrella logic right there, It's alright, you cut out the books and put keys in them. That's going to keep everybody out. State police and stuff. Why would you predict intervention from the police when we know from later games that you had the police in your pocket? Have we discovered a plot hole? Probably not. Okay, so that's one of the 3 MO discs used. You again. Oh boy. Oh god, that one's visibly been autopsied. Again, I'm just gushing about things now. You actually dead now? No. Well, we'll see you later. It's not like we won't be coming back this way. While I'm upstairs, I might try and swipe the other MO disc as well. So we got the slide filter, didn't we? Yes. If you're going for the bad ending and you don't care about the MO discs, you can just walk through the laboratory. It's just like... it's a breeze. Okay, some of the dead zombies are still there and some of them aren't. I know I blew the head off one of them, but I think there should be another one in there. Oh no, he came downstairs, didn't he? Ignore me, ignore me. Which is somewhat counterproductive for someone who's literally talking to you to say. But I'm a complicated man. Not yet, let's put the project... There we go. Umbrella. This is cool, just seeing all these horrible monsters just like with these product slides and serial numbers and just these commercialized monsters. It's just very, very Resident Evil. And these weird wireframe models down there, like they made them on a 90s graphics computer, which they did. MA121s. Bastards. But there's no picture of this one. You see, if you obscure the monster, it's actually a bit scarier when it turns up later. If you pull a Resident Evil Apocalypse and just flash up Nemesis's passport photo like half an hour before he appears on screen, yeah, not so much. Do you see how horror works, Sony Pictures? Anyway, Here they are, congratulating themselves, old hands behind his back, staring at that guy's ear on the left. Dead-eyed woman, oh, who could forget her? Bespectacled scientist, oh, he's classic, he's classic. Then guy on his right, who just never looks in the camera when the photo is being taken. And of course, whoa! Not our old friend and buddy and confidant and colleague and counsellor and teacher and buddy Albert Wesker. He's part of Umbrella? What? Shocking stuff, shocking stuff. 8462, that's how shocking it is. I feel 8462 about things, but yes. Albert Wesker, Esquire, has been lying to us. Just like that bastard Barry. Who can you trust? Richard, oh wait, no, he's dead, isn't he? Enrique, no. Oh, I know, we trust ourselves. You know what else we trust is this sweet key. Yeah. Image editing equipment. This is where Umbrella conduct their Twitch streams, apparently.
What? Get away from me! No! Hey! No!
Well, that's unpleasant. Although Kenneth was blasting away at the zombie there, yet when the stars first appear in the mansion, they only hear, I think, 1 or 2 shots. There's definitely not that many shots, so, continuity, boink. Security. Heliport for executive use only. Well, I think I'm the highest ranking executive left alive. Except for that bastard Barry. I mean, Wesker. I mean, well, they both suck. Airport prohibited unless it's accompanied by a consultant researcher. I mean, if we turn up with Wesker, we're technically fulfilling Umbrella's security protocols. Not for entering the heliport will be shot on sight. I mean, at least ask us to leave. Stop visual data room for use by the Special Research Division only. Ha ha ha, what are you going to do? We're watching all your visual data. We're doing all your Twitch videos. Keith Arving. Oh, suck on this Keith Arving. The prison and senator, at least one consultant. Hey, Wesker! Oh, wait, we knew that. But we've got it in black and white now. Triple locked door, passcodes. I'm working on it. Wait, what happened to the... Oh, it's illegible. Why would it be illegible thereafter? I mean, this is like an official record from before the mansion went to shit. So it's like, well, here's what's happening with the tyrant. No, it's lunchtime. Fuck it, just scribble something. But then we weren't here before everything went all Resident Evil. For all we know, the reason that everything went all tits up zombie Resident Evil here is maybe that the team and the scientists working here were just massively incompetent. Maybe it was just like a big biological sitcom laboratory. Oh, Christ. I am in no mood for your nonsense, Mr. Crimson Head. All that for one shotgun shell took you down. Your dignity has escaped you, Mr. Crimson Head. I love this. Both doors are on the same screen, so just... Bye, key! Now, there's either a... No, do you know what? I think I need to get the other... Oh, I've got an ammo disc. No, you know what? Fine. This is where it all gets into a bit of a maze of ammo discs and disc readers. And that weird sucky sound we can hear... Oh! Just standing there. Normally they try to surprise you, but... The Chimeras, which is what those are a strange presence in this game. I mean, you know, horrific environments and things, obviously. In that, of all the monsters in Resident Evil, I never really feel like they get fair billing or creditation. It's like they're there, sure, but no one, you think Resident Evil, you think, oh, the dogs and the zombies and then the hunters and the tyrant. No one's ever like, how about them chimeras, eh? Okay, I can't really go anywhere from here, can I? Oh, I actually could use those, I think. Yeah, maybe they were just one monster too many, or maybe they were just a bit too generic, or we didn't see much of them. I really don't know. I'm not sure they ever even got an action figure. You just feel if they were making action figures of the Resident Evil 1 monsters, you'd expect to see all the usual suspects, but they're we'll have that, yeah. Slightly less useful now. Right, so I do remember that the last one of those is in the power room, and that I have a disc in the... Jill, you total... It's waiting for our little transitory animations to play out. It's like, you get up now, she's got to slowly stand back up. Then she's got to turn around. It's just that classic 90s jank you get with these things. Now we've health. Nom. So I think we're now done in this particular area. There was a bloody annoying puzzle in the original version where there's like a gas vent in the floor, and you've got to push 2 boxes onto the gas vents and then a set of stairs onto like a button that releases the gas, but it's where you need to have it to get into a vent. Oh god, it was a pain in the arse, and it was the game was really picky as to whether it didn't count as like, yeah, the box is on the gas vent, but it wasn't on the gas vent, so yeah, we're gonna kill you. So a good omission from the remake there, a very good omission. And there's the final one. And there's one more annoying part to do, and I have not been conserving health items very well at all, have I? And since we're in a rest room, or a room of rest, yeah, we'll keep those, we like grenade shells, I may go and use the restroom myself. So, enjoy this stat screen, and I will be back in about 30 seconds. So you told you it was fast. Right, well, what I am going to do is definitely take... No, Jill, stop, shut up. Pick up the can. There we go. I'm going to stash that for later, just on the off chance anything dangerous might happen toward the end of the game. I know, what are the odds? Do we have any... Alright, I'll keep those there and keep these there. Well, I'm just faffing around at this point. So I think before we do anything else... Did I get the ammo? I forgot the ammo disc, didn't I? No, I didn't, okay. Hi. He's vomiting with rage. Ha ha ha. My snub. You, sir, have been societally snubbed. Oh. Missed. Haha, you suck. Right, this is an addition to the new version, which there's a reason they forced that to hang on screen. Basically, we need to refuel it using this, which means we've got to run back to the area where the newbie zombie was. You dead? You dead, bro? I've forgotten all my shotgun shells. Oh man, I'm so bad at this. Refill it, and in a somewhat more tedious move than anticipated, bring it all the way back here. Who likes handgun bullets? Without running. So we've got to bring it back at walking speed. and I will pick up the shotgun shells I inexplicably abandoned for handgun bullets. So we'll just be taking a light stroll. It is one of the more tedious puzzles. It's what I would file under faff, to be honest. It's just a needlessly tedious bit. There is an element of tension involved, and if you haven't been smart and been clearing the way from enemies, then yeah, okay, that could be an extra wrinkle of challenge. So I'm not quite calling it as bad as the Windcrest thing, but it is just a sort of slowly plodding all the way back to the... It's bum is what it is. But a bit like the residence, the mansion, the laboratory is just a kind of very small, tightly designed area, so it's actually quite satisfying to play and have all that stuff continuously happening. We will actually be stopping back this way if we want the good ending, as any veterans of this game will know. This guy still alive? Yeah. Can you do something? Yeah, open it. No animation, just cut from one still image to another. Little extra. Running. Like the way they put it in quotation marks as if it's not actually running. I'd like to get out of here before he... Oh, he's dead, okay. So, now if we run or take... I think we can run in short bursts, but I'm not gonna risk it. Or if we take damage or various other things happen, then we blow up and die. So we've got to slowly, slowly, slowly walk back to where we came from. Ever so slowly does it. This isn't fun. This isn't fun at all. It was moments like this and sort of stuff like the design decisions made in this game which made me really realise how much fun these games weren't when Resident Evil 4 first came into existence. Suddenly it's like, it's a game! I'm having fun all the time! I do love it, but yeah, I think a lot of it might just be due to quote-unquote classic design. Am I going to get chimeraed as soon as I walk in there? I didn't kill the other one, did I? That could be a problem. Mind you, it didn't seem to pop up, so... Not too sure about this. Oh, this could go wrong. I heard him. No, the one here obviously is dead. I think the one over there can't quite hear us. Yeah, we're good. Okay, we've got our legs back. We aren't. And we've got the ammo disc. Yep, we're set. Walking into a wall. Pop. I think that was the way we're supposed to go. This was terrifying in the original, because you'd have to run through here in like a really tense chase scene. And it wasn't until this game that I realised that, yeah, the things chasing you were actually surprisingly easy to kill. Now who's in charge of the chase scene? I mean, those hits look fatal, and those Chimera look gross with their faces hanging off and everything. They just... I don't know, just something about the Chimera in this game never really settles, like I'm saying. Something very Terminator 2 about this area. You wander off in the wrong direction. Exactly the pride of the Umbrella Briar weapon production line there. But yeah, they're totally deadly and they've got claws and all kinds of shit, but they might just walk in like 180 degrees the wrong direction sometimes. There's like a 30% chance of that happening, so yeah. And because these things are so corporate, you know, with the serial numbers and the production lines and everything, you've got to wonder, like, how does the other elements of corporation work? Like, if you're the kind of person who's inclined to buy Umbrella bioweapons, and we never really find out who that is, to be honest. I mean, you suggest vague things like governments and stuff, but you never really meet someone who's like, yeah, a big pack full of, like, deadly clawed monsters, which aren't really bulletproof to any degree, but, you know, they're still kind of scary. Yeah, I could take a bunch of those. Give me, like, half a dozen hunters and maybe a tyrant. So they're just made to sell to someone. But what happens when there's, like, an issue where, like, I don't know, you call up Umbrella Hotline, and you're talking to some Indian guy who says his name's John, even though it's clearly like Raoul or something. And you're like, no, my hunter went like in totally the wrong direction. I wanted him to kill a guy, and the guy was there, and the hunter like turned 180 degrees and just like slowly walked in the other direction and like screamed at a wall. Yeah, I'm not even asking for like a refund at this point. I'm just talking to like customer services and troubleshooting. How do I? Yeah, I'll hold. You need to talk to your supervisor. Yeah, that's fine. Just. Will there be any kind of... I mean, can I get another hunter? Can you tell me how to fix this? It's just, there's a lot of logistics to Umbrella's, like, corporate user end, which I think I would like to know. I mean, again, who's in the market for this? Oh, what's in here? It's our real buddy, Chris Redfield, with whom we totally have a platonic relationship and nothing else ever happened.
Of course I'm alive. Jill, there's something big going down, and I don't think we're part of the equation.
I mean, you're not, you're in a box.
Out of here. It won't open. Wait, I'll be back to get you out.
Okay.
I promise.
No sightseeing, though.
Because you can always trust a STARS member like bloody Wesker or bloody Barry or Idiot Brad or Broken Radio Richard. I miss Enrico. But yeah, what's with the customer service element of that? I mean, I've spent a good portion of today trying to figure out Amazon's return policy. So what happens when they ship you like a retarded hunter? It's like all the hunters are like, ah! And he's like, yay! And we're like, that's not what this thing should be doing, man. I mean, you know, I looked on the webpage, and this is if you order directly from Umbrella. What happens if you order like an AliExpress hunter? What do you get then? Do you just get like a really big frog? And I mean, you can't send it back because you're dealing with the Chinese at that point, but... I think now is when we save. There's a lot to mine with Umbrella as a company. But again, nothing's as bad as the movies where they make bioweapons to sell to people and make money after they've destroyed the world voluntarily with their own bioweapons. Oh, Paul Anderson. I think you get far too much shit, and I will always love you for directing Mortal Kombat and Event Horizon, but again, there's some questions there. There's questions about their conduct. I want to know, this is the question of the day. I buy bioweapons from Umbrella for some reason because they only seem to have the effective like range of a claw and how fast they can run, and they're perfectly susceptible to bullets and bombs, so not really a brilliant weapon when you think about it. Especially at the prices they probably command. Probably. Is there a loyalty card scheme? Can I buy like an Umbrella gift card for my terrorist friends? Can you get like a voucher for a tyrant? This is faff. You can't click on the door. You have to be told to go over here and click on this in order to click on the door. Could you not just have had this cutscene play up when I clicked on the door, Capcom? Efficiency
Jill.
and order
Barry,
is all that I ask.
Waited up for it, you know?
let's go.
I trust you now because somebody else is bad. And you can't possibly have two people be untrustworthy. That just doesn't make sense. The lighting effects here blew me away on the GameCube. Still impressive now. Apparently those scenes, where most backgrounds obviously pre-rendered, those were essentially pre-rendered video files. I didn't know this until they were showing how they made this version. But yeah, rather than use pre-rendered backdrops, they used like pre-rendered videos for backdrops in some instances, which is an ingenious workaround, I think. Ah, Wesker, our trustworthy... Oh no, wait!
Wesker!
Yeah, you're not. Ah,
Thank
god
you,
damn
Barry.
it.
Well, what do you know?
Two
Oh, don't blame
traitors.
Barry for everything.
I blame Barry for
I hear
everything.
that his better half and 2 lovely daughters will be in danger if he doesn't do everything I tell him to.
Which is his better half, top or bottom?
Wesker, you're pathetic.
Well, you shouldn't worry
I
too
think
much.
pathetic's the right word here, Jill.
We'll be free
He's
of
kind of
all this
winning.
anyway.
Why eliminate stars?
Believe it or not,
Yeah, they
that's
suck.
Umbrella's intention.
We'd totally believe it. Why would we
You're
not
just
believe
a
it?
slave of Umbrella.
We've been doing that all
Smart
night.
girl, but I think you misunderstand me. The
Smart
things
girl,
you
but
mentioned
you're
are
wrong.
nothing. I'll burn all of them
Good
along with this
answer,
entire
but
laboratory.
crap.
Barry, go up on the ground and wait there.
I love that he points a much weaker gun at her than the gun already being pointed
You
at her,
gotta
like
love
it's a big
Barry.
deal.
He must really be afraid of Umbrella.
You and Umbrella took his family. You bastard.
Ooh, right in the face. Pow, right in the kisser.
Well, I used some carrots and sticks to cow him. But it
That
had
doesn't
nothing
count
to
as a
do
bruise
with
on the bum,
Umbrella.
by the way, because she landed on
I
her
just
tits.
used Barry for my
Bruise on the
personal
tits?
interests. Though both you and Barry seem to think I was following Umbrella's orders.
What? What are you planning?
I guess it's time for show and tell.
Yeah, please explain this, Wesky, because I'm honestly losing track here. How do you see it indoors in those sunglasses? I mean, Jill's been looking directly at this the entire time, so this isn't really a reveal to her. What I'd really liked in George Romero's Resident Evil, there's a screenplay online. He has the Tyrant in this moment packed in ice, so you can't see it, and then the claw comes smashing out from like the ice pack, which
For the
would have been
sake of
really good
this
for this.
thing.
It's a great way to reveal it
You know,
while having it
I
hanging
hate
there but not
goodbyes.
visible. Barry! You saved us and we love you again. Maybe, for now.
Forgive me.
No, you're not to blame. It's Umbrella and Wesker.
Even if it meant my family,
Kinda
I
just
couldn't
Umbrella
bear
now.
turning my back on my friends again. Shit!
And that's cool as well, but the George Romero ice pack thing was pretty sweet. I think it sticks its claw out in the film and gets straight through Wesker, and then, like, as it's described in the script, it twists the claw and then tears his head completely off and sends it across the room.
Damn it!
Clearly in that continuity, had they made it, you wouldn't have been able to bring Wesker back. But,
Jill and Barry together. In hell.
I mean, we're not going to hell.
You want
I
a
think-
piece of me?
I love that in the original he's genuinely shocked it turns on him. Why Wesker would it...
Premature.
Odd choice of last words. Why Wesker would be surprised it turns on him, I don't know. This thing just kills whatever's nearest to it. Oh no, Barry, you'll be fine.
You viral cultured freak.
Sick burn. Yeah, Wesker stands next to the thing that kills anything it touches, and is then surprised it tries to kill him. Now again, the addition of this little corridor here makes this negligible, but the Tyrant is an awesome icon of Resident Evil-tude. And he won't die. Oh, strange man. Pathetic way to die. It was kind of lame. Got something cool. G-Virus. Now this, of course, is completely new for the remake and is all stuff about characters and viruses and locations from later in the series, which weren't written when Resident Evil 1 was made, but when this remake came out, could be made with later knowledge. Prototype Parasite. Sample specimen being Lisa Trevor, but the prototype parasite being Nemesis, which we'll be seeing later briefly in Resident Evil 3. This is the only time this is really alluded to, but the G-Virus at the core of Resident Evil 2 was essentially just like a byproduct that oozed out of Lisa. Which actually tracks with her design. She's got little orange eyeballs all over her, like G-Virus creatures do, and she's got the tentacles the Nemesis has. They incorporate a lot of this, and there's a mention of Alexia. A grim reminder I'll have to play Code Veronica again at some point. William Birkin. who again we'll be seeing shortly in Resident Evil 2.
Barry! Barry!
Can't remember if it's Barry or Rebecca, but I think you can just walk out of the room here, and then when you click on the door without checking them, they just kind of go, "Hey, what? I didn't even check for a pulse, dude." And then it carries on as normal.
He's gone.
That's right.
just get out of
That's
here.
the only ending in the game, I think, that actually allows Wesker a window to get away clean. So in this continuity, which again isn't canon, but it is what happens, Wesker has now actually just disappeared. Although, when you pick up in Umbrella Chronicles, Wesker wakes up dead in this lab. Oh, Wesker. So I'm guessing, again, it's not canonical, but minor spoilers for later Resident Evil games. Wesker comes back. He survives being gutted like a fish. In fact, rather hilariously, it's implied later on in the games that being gutted like a fish is actually part of his plan, which is... there is an art to the whole kind of, I meant to do that kind of approach to fucking up, but that's pushing it. And it wouldn't be a Resident Evil finale without the self-destruct system being activated.
Wesker must have set it off. Let's hurry.
I wonder if the one woman at Umbrella who was asked to do the voice for "The self-destruct system has been activated, all systems will not be aborted," or whatever the hell she says. If they was just like, they sat her down one day and was like, "Okay, we've got a billion different installations, we're going to blow them all up at some point, we just need to record like a whole bunch of very slightly different self-destruct messages for all of them. Can you? Cool." But before we leave, I'm gonna go pick up our old buddy, old friend, old Chris. I might save just for safety's sake, because, I mean, do you really want to see me play all this over again? Probably. It's been fun. I mean, while we're here... No, 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 no! Thank you. I don't think I'll be needing too many of these, but I don't really want to take a chance. Nom. It's a cool ending to a cool game. Jiggle, 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 jiggle. Jiggle, 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 jiggle. And that's what Jill canonically did when the self-destruct system went off. We're writing our own story here, folks. The lock is lit. Chris, the door's open! I've unlocked the door for you and now I have to physically go and open it for you. Chris, you deserve this. Yeah, wakey wakey.
Jill.
Sorry about the wait.
So everything's taken care of?
Well, almost.
I love how
Let's
some
get the hell
corners of
outta
the
here.
internet have read romantic intent into every tiny little bit of body language between Chris and Jill. But to date, I don't think there's ever actually been any kind of romantic interest between the two. Any direct, anyway. I know in Revelations they basically seem obsessed with each other. But they still never really hang a hat on the fact that they're in an actual relationship. I think George Romero has them in bed together like 2 scenes in, so... It's an interesting relationship between Chris and Jill.
Go.
Now there's nothing left to do but escape. Chris has heroically run on ahead and left us to it. Maybe he went on ahead to scout the route and make sure it was safe for our lady ass. He didn't do a very good job of it because we're full of zombies. Okay, the camera is not fucking helping here! Okay, this got a lot hairier than I anticipated, and the camera is basically what's killing me. Ugh. When you're stuck on that jackknife and you're like in between two different camera angles and you're constantly seeing it from two different angles and you just can't move one way without being pushed back into... Anyway, we're alive. We're alive. Barely. And we will be taking... Thankfully the self-destruct system isn't in any particular fucking hurry. You only need one empty slot. Yeah, there we are. That should do it, I reckon. And of course, we'll have an emergency save because that nearly went very, very wrong. A fine little reminder of how bloody dangerous Crimson Heads can be if you are not well prepared and stuck in a very disadvantageous place with regards to camera angles. Yeah, thanks. Save successful. Got it. Now this does the classic thing of you have to pick up an item to put in a door to get into the final battle, thus subtly ensuring that you have an inventory space open for the item you'll need to win the final battle. Because if you picked up, say, the rocket launcher in Resident Evil 2 that Ada throws down, and the game was like, oh, you haven't got space for this, sorry, it's basically game over. Brad, you dickball. Jill, the radio's broken. Give it a rest, girl. Alright, flank by my boys. I'll take them over Billy the Mullet any day. Okay, so this is the thing we need. Just one space. And we need to put it in here. Now, as soon as we do, the cutscene plays because the game can't have us put this in here and then go back and refill our inventory. So,
3 minutes to detonation.
Damn it! We're almost there! Jill, you just get in contact
love your
with Brad.
enthusiasm, Chris, but that handgun's not going to do
We
much
can
against
make
those
it.
hunters.
Jill, ladies first.
Chris!
Would you
I
let
got
me have my
immediately
moments
captured
too?
and spent the entire game in a
All
box,
right.
but now I'm going to
We'll
act like
rendezvous
some
at
kind
the
of
heliport.
badass hero. Chris, you absolute donkey. Alright, so first you need to pick up the signal rockets, which means that you need to have the inventory space open. It's a clever little way of what feels like just another door lock puzzle actually being something that... Oh, now we have a 3-minute timer. Or 2:50, because it's rather cruelly counting down while we're not even playing. So the self-destruct system did mean it, like the T-virus itself, with perfect dramatic timing. Right, so yeah, we'd need to pick those up to use them. Which we couldn't do if we didn't have space. And my god, that's a lot of batteries. Alright, Brad, if you can't notice this, there's no help for you. Plus, when you say you're running out of fuel, you've got enough fuel to get us out of here, right? Because we can get on the chopper and just land here.
Jill!
You made it!
You finally hit upon the good idea of just not fighting the hunters and running away. Jill barely reacted to that. Yeah, stick your head in the hole, see what... It's that guy again. Chris, you donkey! Now, as we learned in our Resident Evil 0 stream, the key to Tyrant is identifying which arm doesn't have a massive claw on. And that camera doesn't help! That's an entire magnum into it. Oh, right in the butt. I've got that too. Oh well, that's all the magnum done. Get toasty. Nice.
Jill, use it! Kill it, whatever it is!
It's a shame we lost the baffling line from the original, "You're our Amazon, Jill!" Oh, bloody transitional animations. Up you get, girl, come on. Thankfully the tyrant's not too keen on pressing the advantage. Game over. Sometimes he swats the rocket away and you have to fire again, so I don't know what the difference is between why he does and why he doesn't, but... And now time to very slowly and sedately land on a timer. And after slogging through that, it's always incredibly cathartic to see this. And there goes all the evidence. It looks way better in RE0, just 2 years later. Here's an extremely Jurassic Parky ending, and again, a little hint of romantic subtext, but Chris is just like, I did nothing. I did nothing. Dun, 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 and it's over. And that was Resident Evil. Just Resident Evil. Technically Resident Evil HD remastered remake of Director's Cut. But it's a damn good game. It's a bloody good game. The graphical design, the sound design is all top notch. The gameplay is a bit too antiquated, I'd say. I would say overall it's a better game than it is a remake. I don't think it's a great remake of the original. It just keeps too much archaic old crap that, much as I think it's the better of the 3 remakes, Resident Evil 2 remake really showed you didn't need to keep. You did not need to keep fixed camera angle. Well, maybe on the GameCube more so, but door opening animations and tank controls should have been better by the time this game came out, but they kept a lot of archaic stuff for the sake of keeping it. And of course the additional faff, Nemesis outfit. The additional faff in a lot of the design kind of drags it down and sort of plots it out again. And it would have been nice to have like the story be canonical this time rather than literally following everything in the original to the letter. But even with all that aside, it's still one of the very best. I'd say it's the pinnacle of the old school Resident Evil games. The fixed cameras, tank controls, door opening thing. It really doesn't get any better than this. I don't think any of these voice actors ever returned. Which after here, you get voice actors come back for a game or two, but they're fine. The voice acting's perfectly good. The scripting is still a bit baffling, and they still don't act like real people. Like when Enrico gets shot and they just kind of react to, why did his head exploded and that gunshot came behind us, rather than spin around because somebody's firing a gun. And there's quite a few bits like that in the game that just don't really track. I'm not sure I'm in the camp that would want Capcom to remake this in the modern, I guess, over-the-shoulder way, especially after Resident Evil 3. But yeah, it's modernised enough to still be fun, but archaic enough to still feel like you're playing the original piece of history. I would recommend it to absolutely anyone. It's about £15 or what, $20 odd tops is all you should be paying for it on any online service these days. Physical copies are a bit more expensive, and then you can get the physical copy of this and Resident Evil 0 on one disc, or one's on the disc and one's download. But yeah. Oh, and this is where you are. Oh, right, that's why the costume wasn't available, because I'm playing this on the PS5 and everything else I did was saved on the PS4, so yes. But we've done it. We're 2 games into our Resident Evil-a-thon. Come back next time. I can't make any hard promises as to when that will be, but hopefully within the week for Resident Evil 2. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe, get notified, see these things pop up in your feed as to when the Resident Evil playthrough continues. And if you're on YouTube, come by Twitch, u_know_name_, and be notified as to when we're playing Resident Evil, because I'm going to get through the whole series. We will finish. Maybe by the time we get to Resident Evil 8, the DLC will be out, so we can play through that. I still have no idea what that will entail. But for now, I will love you and leave you with a much longer stream than I usually do. Yes. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep watching the skies.